Come on through, Cookie. I want to put my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. Let's talk about the quad. This is season 1, episode 4. When we go in, we actually see students rallying and they're all sitting around and they're basically gossiping about what they're calling the rape video. And there's like a debate basically going back and forth. Was it rape or was it just somebody having sex in the bushes? And it's like a 50-50 thing. Some people think it's one thing, some people think it's the other. Same thing going on around the school with the faculty. But in the meantime, in between time, we actually see a student named EJ. He's an IT student who he works for school security. So the head of security, he's an officer, and he's kind of just like, oh, whatever, this is the kind of stuff that happens. He's more on the leaning toward, this is some students making out kind of thing. And EJ basically thinks it's rape. And he admits to Eva that he's the one who actually leaked the tape. And told her, he's just so sick of it. He has a cousin who actually was assaulted at another university. He just thinks it's ridiculous. She thanked him for his honesty. The security lead was saying to Eva, he's just a student. Don't go too hard on him. She's like, oh, I'm not going to go hard on him at all. She literally kept EJ and fired the head of security because she felt as though he just was throwing it around, and she herself feels it's more. She watched it and she feels it's more of a assault, and she just didn't like his lackluster feel with it. Later on in the episode, we actually see her get into a whole thing because naturally, whenever Eva says go right, the rest of the faculty wants to go left. And her and her good friend Ella Grace actually even got into it a little bit because Ella Grace ends up telling her, I think you're going a little too hard, girl. It's like you make everything about you. And she's like, and I put my reputation on the line here, trying to back you. She said, but sometimes, girl, you even talk down to me, honey. She said, you talk to us like we can't, this poor little school, and it just couldn't make it without you and all of this. So I'm laughing because Ella Grace is completely wrong. And at the end of the day, on one, is she really not totally wrong? Because it is all about her. We just don't realize yet that it's her goddamn daughter that got raped. So it's going to get real, real personal in a minute. But Ella Grace and her, they just didn't see eye to eye. And then Ella fought after she said what she had to say that they did. But then no, because Eva actually came out publicly and did a vlog and basically told the school, I'm not down with assault of any type on a male or a female. I'm not going to have it here, and we're going to do something about it. There is an actual help group at the school that's already dealing with that kind of thing. They're right on campus. They do a lot of outreach and stuff like that. So actually, Sydney and her roommate have been going back and forth because she feels like she's like, you need help. You need to talk to somebody about this because they're the only two that actually knows that Sydney is the girl. And Sydney got angry with her, and she's been holding everything inside, and she definitely doesn't want to tell her mother because she doesn't think her mother cares until she actually seen that vlog that went live to the whole college. And then her roommate, she says, let's go right now. Let's go talk to your mother right now. They're on their way there. And while on their way there, runs into the guy who actually did do the rape. And it all came back to Sydney as to who he was because she had been drugged. She'd been drugged. And it was the captain of the damn football team. When she seen him, she just snapped and ran up on him in the middle of the campus, hollered at him, you raped me, you did. It was a mess. it was a mess. And he's like, "What? You're crazy. Go away from me. What are you talking about?" Trying to, and again, there's people that were standing around looking at him like, and some other people that was like, "What's up with her?" You know what I mean? So it was one of those kind of things. So her girlfriend got her together, took her. In the meantime, while that was going on, at the exact same time, EJ goes in and gives Eva pictures. He said, "I have those pictures for you, ma'am." And he's like you can see, he was really hesitant to give them to her. It was zoomed in pictures of the girl on the ground and what they could see, and you could see very clearly that it was Sydney. And so she had this whole breakdown. And by the time they walk into the office, the two of them just look at each other and they just embrace. And it's like, okay. And I said, oh boy, once I seen that, I was like, it's getting ready to be hell to tell the motherfucking captain on this damn campus. So all of that's going on. Okay, so we got all that going on. Let's talk about um, Cedric and Ebony. Cedric is still trying to, talk to Ebony and telling her you need to come on back to school. And it's the first time we really see Ebony. And Ebony is just, her spirit is broken, same as Cedric's was. But he literally gets up, drives, goes out to where she's at. She's all stuck up in the room and things are like worse than what I thought they actually were. He gets her to go out. They went to this little club and they're like kicking it and everything's cool. And they even rap, found out that she really can rap. So they bonded and they're like bonding on all these levels. I said, oh. They going to start messing with each other. And just building a beautiful friendship, both helping each other because they both got some of the same issues. So she comes back up to the school. He tells his roommate, he's like, she's going to be staying with us for a couple of days. He said, this lady said, I'm going to take you back. She going to say, I'm so tired of being cooped up there. Can I stay for a little bit and everything? And I'm like, girl, you going to pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that, pop that. Where you going to sleep at? So he ends up telling Bryce, he says, I'm going to sleep on the floor. She can sleep in the bed, whatever. So she says, let me step out of the room for a minute. She steps out because Bryce is like, what is going on with you? Like, we can get kicked out of school if she's in here. You're like bringing trouble to me. And he's like, what? He's like, ain't nothing going to happen. And he says to her, says to him, something about what's wrong with him and this, that, and the other. And he went into telling him about how my dad helped you and this, that, and the other. And he told him, your dad ain't fucking helped me. Since your dad came and told me I wasn't shit. He thought he was lying. Bryce was telling him, like, you're lying and stuff. He's like, no, I'm not lying. And he said something else to him, and it just hit right home with him. It was just some of that conversation him and his brother had about the dad. He was like, oh, shit. So at the same time, when that was happening, out in the hallway, Noni and Ebony run into each other. And she's all dressed. And I was like, Ebony, how are you? She's like, whoa, hold up. So you took my spot in the band? And Noni's like, well, technically it wasn't your spot after you left. And she gonna say, yeah, you did say that you would do anything to get it. And I guess you did. And she said, so you are all up in Cecil Diamond's ass. And I told you everything that happened. You know all the details of what happened. And you went and joined the band anyway. She said, but yeah, I guess you did. She said, you're all up in his ass, and I hope you rot up in his ass. I said, oh. And she walked on off and left her. That was that. Last thing. Let's talk about, well, no, next to the last thing. Bo John. Bo John, his dad, and his bullshit. He calling, trying to basically firm him up to leave. So I got you looking at this other little stuff over here. This college over here, this white college, and they actually going to give some insurance benefits for me and your mama. I said, okay. Bo John ended up going to see the regular coach of GAMU, and he's telling them, basically the same exact thing as what's going on with the dad. And Bo John's just between a rock and a hard place for the most part. I said, oh, well, I feel so bad for him. Last thing, Cecil and his sister. The sister actually showed up with the fuck off, told him about how he just went up and left the family and this, that, and the other. And that's why I shouldn't fuck with him. And she's like, what did you think? You sent me checks. She said, I never cashed them. I know you seen it. I never cashed them. You double the amount. That doesn't change anything. Fuck you. You ain't shit. You walked off and left us. You know, you didn't want nothing to do with us. Now you keep calling. Stop fucking calling me. I ain't got time for you and your bullshit. She never even gave him a chance to say what it was he wanted to say. He wanted to tell her about the illness and all that. And he's having more attacks more frequently. And she went off and he's hollering for her. She went on off like, fuck you. So he's still in the midst of not having any resolution with his family. And the stress of that is going to mess around and kill him. It's going to mess around and kill him. Because that's how cancer works. Cancer feeds off of a lot of stress and different things. Anything to beat your system down, cancer just uses it against you. So he better get something together, baby, or it's going to kill him quicker. But anyway, that's it. This is getting really, really good too. And I will see you guys next week. All right. Later.